is In the Know for Thursday, July 27, 208th day of 2023. There are 157 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105. On Litchfield's Country Station, 1039 The Moose, live online at K105.com, via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. We will also give you a chance to win. You'll have your opportunity for the show. We'll have that and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
You got a neat email from the American Red Cross last night that I thought you might want to share about.
Yes. So this has never happened to me before. I do have a unique blood type. I'm AB pos. So it's the next to rarest blood type. But I got an email yesterday that told me, hang on, I'm finding it, that my blood donation was sent to Deaconess Gateway Hospital in Newburgh, Indiana, to help a patient in need.
I know Newburgh, Indiana. So
How cool is that?
That is good. Is that something new the Red Cross has started in letting you know how you're helping?
I don't know. I've never seen this before, but I should say they did tell me first. It says after first ensuring that local needs were met.
I see.
Yes,
okay. Yeah.
And then mine went on. But again, it's the rarest blood
but
type.
Isn't it nice to know though that
yes.
it helps motivate you to give because
absolutely.
You see you just put it out there and go, well, I suppose it went somewhere. When you know where it went makes a big impact.
I think it's super cool.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. He's a 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio Newshawk Award. He's a 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even the movie theater. He's Sam Gormley and the Sparks. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Good. I mean, I've been at a movie theater.
Oh, I was almost certain you went to see Barbie.
Oh, because I was wearing my... Well, no, I'd have to go see it today since I'm wearing my pink.
Oh.
You're supposed to wear your pink to the theater.
I thought maybe you went at midnight and saw it wearing your pink shirt.
No, not quite yet.
Are you wearing pink because pink is a cool color and maybe you can stay cooler on a hot day like today?
Sure. I mean, isn't it just, real men wear pink, right?
I'm not afraid to wear pink. I don't think I have anything pink at the moment, but I'm certainly not afraid to wear it. I have before. I do want you to be aware, though, keep your eye out. I've never seen this happen before, but in El Paso, Texas, where they've had 38 days of consecutive triple-digit temperatures, they say that they are reporting that some of their street signs appear to be melting, where they've just gotten so hot that they're just deteriorating, where you can tell just a little bit of drift, where it got hot and then the letters ran. That's hard to believe.
I guess the paint?
I guess,
but it's not even paint. It's like acrylic.
It almost looks like to me the green is cracking and peeling off of it because it's giving that impression rather than it got hot. Because that's green over white. That's not white over green.
Right.
And so it gives that look. But it looks like a Halloween sign.
Yeah.
It looks like they would have decorated for Halloween and on Chelsea Street there. So it's going to be hot, even hotter today than yesterday. There is a heat advisory for our area until 9 o'clock tomorrow night. We won't be as hot as what they've seen in the Southwest recently, especially for a consecutive number of days. But we will see a high approaching the mid-90s today, but the feels-like temperature will be around 103, 104 because of that humidity. They are tracking, however, some cooler air. Now, cooler, that doesn't mean cool, but certainly drier air later on in the weekend. So by the time we get to Sunday afternoon and evening, it might start to feel a little bit better. But if you think today's going to be warm, tomorrow will be warmer because they're projecting a high of 95 today. Thunderstorms early tonight, possible for some rumbly tumblies, and 78. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny skies and a high of the old 98.
Well, and then you got to mention the low tomorrow night.
Yeah, the low tomorrow night is forecast to be 80 degrees, and that will probably be at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m.
I mean,
right
it was
before
80 when I got in the car this morning.
right before the sun comes up. Yeah, I saw the hourly temperature by about 10 o'clock our time is going to be 88 degrees, so that's in less than an hour. So do all you can to stay cool, and check on other people too that you may think have inferior infrastructure for cooling.
Keep the animals inside as
Yeah,
all possible.
if you can, at least make sure they got water, etc.
Make sure Gertie's inside.
And I also read the other thing. I also read that experts said drink water even if you're not thirsty. Mm-hmm. Like that's just a good idea on days that you're losing more water than you realize, even when you're just going short distances. We are at the 1-year anniversary of the what was probably one of the most unique natural disasters in the history of our nation, and that's a historic flooding in eastern Kentucky. And we are now rolling past the 1-year anniversary point. I remember it started just like the day before, a day and a half before my birthday last year. That's when the majority of what was being known, because my birthday was on a Friday last year, and I remember like that Wednesday, Thursday, and just how bad it was. And so they are commemorating that. The governor said days of unrelenting, record-breaking, previously unimaginable amounts of rain fell on eastern Kentucky communities, resulting in the deadliest, most destructive flooding in any of our lifetimes. The governor pointed out 45 Kentuckians were lost in that, and he went on to say that he immediately knew it would be one of the toughest rebuilds in history, and it's because the topography is so unique. And incidentally, we're also kind of recovering in western Kentucky from flooding last week, where it's the most amount of rain that was held in that was received in a 24-hour period, 11 inches, and that was really in a 13-hour period. And so we were talking about the Red Cross a second ago, I did happen to speak to the executive director of Western Kentucky for the Red Cross yesterday.
You got those kind of connections?
I do. I got people in high places, and I asked her, I said, so is the difference in the flooding the topography? In eastern Kentucky, the water is rushing down the hillsides of mountains, and loss of life and homes and buildings, and no one escaped. Whereas in the flat portions of the state, it was a lot of water, but it still came up gradually enough that people were able to see it coming and go, hey, we got to do something different. And so she said, yes, that's exactly what it was. She said at first we thought it was just a big amount of flash flooding, but then as the water kept rising, I think she said there were about 15 buildings they had 15 residential structures in Mayfield specifically that they were seeking housing for, et cetera. So anyway, I guess the way that I had imagined it on why there was, it wasn't as damaging in western Kentucky, just simply because it's flat, and the water has places to go eventually, primarily in the river. In the big river. But there are still, I read as of yesterday, the Transportation Cabinet has reopened all roads in western Kentucky due to high water, but they still have roads in Ballard, Graves, and Hickman County that are closed due to damage, where water washed out road tiles and that type of thing. So, all right. There's your weather information for the day. Two big news headlines yesterday nationally. The Hunter Biden deal unraveled at the last minute, and now they will be scrambling to figure out where to go from here and what happens with Hunter Biden and his supposed plea. He didn't speak to the media as he was scheduled to do yesterday. I think it's in his best interest that he doesn't, but anxious to hear if he does. And then also similarly yesterday, I saw that dramatic footage of a crane collapsing in Manhattan yesterday. It was carrying tons of concrete, hundreds of feet off the ground, and it crashed down to the ground. It was a pretty dramatic scene. Then also, big headline yesterday, don't know what happened with Leader McConnell, whether he had some type of seizure or he had a senior moment, or at first I thought it was going to be a stroke, but no one is at least bold enough to say stroke. But he was having his weekly press conference, and mid-sentence just stopped speaking and was sort of frozen for 20 to 30 seconds until one of his Senate colleagues said, "Is there anything else that you want to say?" And he kind of shook his head and walked away from the podium. The staff later said he was lightheaded. He took a moment to get away and recover, and then he came back and he answered questions, kind of dodged the health question. He said he was fine and et cetera. So I guess he'll continue to get checked out. I did hear a report on CBS this morning that there may be some unreported falls over the last couple of years.
ABC reported this morning, just about 15 minutes before the show, that apparently in the last 2 weeks he felt and has been using a wheelchair.
Yeah,
That's
I've
what they
heard.
said.
I went on and heard they've been using a wheelchair, and that's not a bad idea. Obviously, I get a chance to see him a couple of times a year, certainly once a year over the last few years, and I definitely see a difference. So
You see him being an 82-year-old man.
I see, yeah, and so listen, it happens to all of us eventually. So it's just kind of one of those things. Pray for the best, and will be a tough time. I don't know, it's just the way my mind works, but I think he's 81, about to be 82. I think
No,
they
I
said
don't
yesterday.
know. He's an old man.
But the thing that struck me is he's 81, and then yesterday we were celebrating Mick Jagger's 80th birthday, and I thought that's just an odd, dichotomy between those.
He'll be
those
82 in February.
82 in February. All right. A Litchfield man became unresponsive after overdosing on an opioid for the third time in 5 weeks. It happened on Hardin Street last night about 6:35. Central Dispatch got a phone call, and first responders reported. In the meantime, the person got Narcan by the person who made the call, I think 3 different times. The person was transported to EMS by EMS to Owensboro Health Twin Lakes in unknown current condition, but that's what was going on in the Hardin Street neighborhood yesterday, in case you were curious. A truck striking 2 mailboxes on Elizabethtown Road led to the arrest of a felon with multiple warrants. That happened on Sunday afternoon. There was a F-150 truck on 62 pulling a trailer, struck a couple of mailboxes, failed to stop. Witness followed the truck, captured the license plate, and then they were able to eventually make contact with a 31-year-old Brian McClellan and a 31-year-old Amber Horton, both of Ohio County. They appeared to be under the influence of some intoxicating substance. Both suspects were detained as they appeared to not be behaving accurately. There had been a handgun thrown in the weeds, a canine Zeus found it, etc. You can read all the arrests were made. Details you can read at K105.com. By the way, speaking of the sheriff's office, saw just before showtime that the sheriff's office has reported that traffic stop karaoke raised over $22,000 for Alexis.
That's awesome.
So
That is
that's
awesome.
that is wonderful to know. I think it was $22,000. It's $22,500, I think, is what it ended up being. So some of that was in big chunks, some of that was in small chunks, but every penny made a difference and mattered. So it was a privilege to be part of it. Sam, you had a more of a direct. I had a direct involvement, but you had a director involvement. And thanks to Elvie Shane
Yeah.
for
He was, and if you've not seen that yet, go watch it. And we're not just saying that just because we were the ones that put it together.
Right.
Elvie's phenomenal in it. Like, he is really good at just opening up about
his honesty. His open and
everything too. And it's one of those things. If even if you're not like me on the show, I'm not a country music fan, but it's not even about that. It's just about you'll be listening and hear people that he names. It's just like, and it's like, oh yeah, I
he
know
does
that guy.
kind of go on a Ramel Bradley phase for a minute.
Yeah.
Shout out to people, just people that
Well, I
he
heard
knows.
like Barry Cannon
Yeah,
got a mention in it and
absolutely.
everything.
He
So
got
it was
all-
just interesting to hear that. And then he gets deep at times as well, talking about addiction and so on. And it's just really, really good.
Yeah, thanks to Shane and thanks to Norman as well, and hope that
And plus-
it makes her day, and she can do whatever she wants to.
The
with
sheriff
those-
can sing too,
with those funds. Hey, he can carry a tune. Let's put it.
At least he didn't have to dance, right?
That's good. Well, I mean, he can dance pretty well too. He's on record for dancing a lot. You've seen him at like the special needs
Yeah.
prom. Like he knows how
When
to
he's
cut
got his
a rug.
ballet background, right?
Hey, listen, sometimes after he cuts a rug, they got to get a fire extinguisher. He just sets the rug on fire. A Hardin County woman was killed and a man seriously injured after an SUV collided with a flatbed truck in Elizabethtown. It happened yesterday morning about 8:45 on East Dixie Avenue. The Ford SUV being driven by 29-year-old Sky Greathouse Williams of E-Town traveling south. When the vehicle crossed the center line, struck an oncoming flatbed driven by Patrick Peters. She was pronounced deceased at the scene by the Hardin County Coroner's Office. Let's see. Headline caught my eye this morning. It's from a meeting held back on the 24th. That would have been Monday. And it was a meeting in Frankfort talking about the plight of children in Kentucky's foster program. That was front and center in a meeting of the legislative task force created to find ways to improve the effectiveness and efficiency of the Cabinet for Health and Family Services. So, in particular, the thing that got my attention, the headline says, panel wants more information on report of foster care children sleeping in state offices. Well, that's not a headline you read every day. So I was like, okay, what's the deal on this? And according to department officials, DCBS regularly resorts to using office space and sometimes hotel rooms to house children that are difficult to place. Cabinet officials told the panel that the practice was used frequently, and the children in question are often those turned away from therapeutic foster care because of behavioral issues. Per testimony, at any given time, at least one to two children are housed in state offices with a ratio of 2 workers for each child. The living conditions allow the cabinet to meet the children's basic needs, but rarely more than that. However, the cabinet estimates that as many as a third need hospital-level acute psychiatric treatment. So we all, when we think of the foster program, we think of kind of a normal, child in foster care goes to live, could be foster to adopt, it could be whatever. But then there's a whole nother sector of children in the foster care program that are not easy to place because of the challenges they face and the challenges that they present from a foster parenthood standpoint. And those are that's the worst situation because, well, what do you do? So as I read more, the idea of them being housed in state offices, at least temporarily, it's better than the alternative of just being left to fend for yourself. So, but I know this foster care system is transitional. It's in a period of evolution, but for too long there has been a lack of incentive, and it's been too hard to become a foster parent. And now the Kentucky is going to have to do more to create an incentive for people to become foster parents, whether it's reimbursements, expenses for that type of thing. We are seeing some of the numbers come down, but part of that's because of decisions being made to not place children in foster care that maybe they should, but you don't want them to. So anyway, it continues to be an ongoing problem. And if you're the least bit interested in becoming foster parent, I know the state would love to have you. We continue to hear a little bit more about UK football rolling into the season, which is just 40 days away now, probably something like that.
Less than that, I think.
Less than 40. Eli Cox says that the Cats, he expects them to be competing for a title, and he believes that UK is flying under the radar. Think they're flying under the radar? They're picked 4th in the East. Hard to tell.
This is always the season where we like to drop the sound bites. Mm-hmm. I'm in the best shape of my life. We're flying under the radar. Everything's going great. Let's talk October the 1st and see how things are going.
Well, just like on March 31st, every Major League Baseball team's going to win the pennant. And then by, May 1st, a lot of seasons are the lot's already cast.
Except the Reds, because I thought it was done on May the 1st, and now look at them.
I did not watch all of the women's soccer match against the Netherlands last night, but I did see the final 5 minutes, so that was a draw, stalemate, a 0-0 affair.
1-1.
Oh, 1-1, yeah, 1-1. It was a stalemate, and so a little bit of physicality in that yesterday.
That was the rematch, the gold medal.
Little shove, and then it was shoved back. I was like, oh, okay. And then I saw where the Reds had a matinee yesterday, and 18 strikeouts, I think is what I read. So the Brewers got 2 out of 3, and now the Reds are going where?
We're taking on your Uncle Hub.
Oh, they're going to the Dodgers. They're going to L.A.
Yes,
They're
headed
taking
to
on
Dodger Stadium.
Are they taking on the Fighting Fernando Valenzuelas?
Something like that.
Okay.
Oral Hershiser.
The Fighting Tommy Lasordas?
Yeah. Got to, I'm ready.
All right.
Hopefully he's ready too. We're coming for him.
So, got to get to a break. We'll come back. Go Reds. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. More on the way here on In the Know.
For more than 70 years, Owensboro Health Twin Lakes Medical Center has cared for the health of our friends, neighbors, and family members in Grayson County and beyond. We've celebrated every beautiful newborn, every successful surgery, and every healed injury. Owensboro Health Twin Lakes Medical Center is focused on finding solutions to your health challenges. As part of the Owensboro Health System, we want to keep you healthy. We want to make you proud.
Beehive Assisted Living in Litchfield is seeking caregivers for their beautiful 16-room assisted living community. They believe that care means something different to each of their residents, so they need staff members able to provide unique and special care. Currently seeking part-time caregivers working 6 a.m. to 2 days a week. And if you're without experience, Beehive will be happy to train you. For employment requirements, apply in person at Beehive Assisted Living, 1417 Brandenburg Road in Litchfield.
Quality paves the way. That's the motto of Scotty's Contracting in Stone. All of the crushed stone products from Scotty's Quarry in Litchfield are mined underground. Scotty's Contracting and Paving provides cleaner products made from pure limestone. If you agree that quality makes the difference, contact the team at Scotty's Contracting in Stone for crushed stone products for your project at 259-5696. That's 259-5696. Our quarry is located on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Your health is important to you, so when you find yourself face to face with sickness, your main concern is simply how to feel better. Well, rest assured, your feel better starts right here at Midway Pharmacy. It begins the moment you walk through our doors, where you're greeted by our friendly, knowledgeable staff, and continues on with special services like free delivery. So whether your goal is to maintain a healthy lifestyle or to overcome that untimely sickness, remember,
your feel better starts here
at Midway Pharmacy.
As a mom, summer is long. So what's my number one mom hack? Splish splashing, thrilling family daycations at Kentucky Kingdom. My little guy and my team making memories together is one of my favorite parts. But the best part, I don't have to plan a thing.
Get big thrills and bigger value. Save up to $15 on tickets at KentuckyKingdom.com.
Scammers are cashing in on Barbie mania. Cybercriminals have been taking advantage of the hype to launch a wave of online scams to deceive consumers. Software security firm McAfee claims to have documented 100 new instances of malware with Barbie-related file names in the last 3 weeks alone. Most of the scam attempts involved setting up fake Barbie websites that advertise free tickets, but instead pull up links that hijack personal info with spyware. To avoid getting scammed, McAfee advises Barbie fans to stick with reliable retailers and streamers and to only buy tickets from a reputable theater chain or app. Whisk Aero has successfully completed the world's first public demonstration flight of a fully autonomous electric vertical takeoff and landing fixed-wing air taxi. The craft transitioned from hover to wing-borne flight 4 times, made 360-degree turns in place, and more. Video footage of the flight can be found on Whisk's YouTube channel. And Alphabet reporting better than expected quarterly earnings. They were up 7% to nearly $75 billion. Tech Report, Mark Mayfield.
He said, I want to see you again, but I'm stuck in colder weather. Maybe tomorrow will be better. Can I call you then? She said, you're around.
Today is Walk on Stilts Day.
You ain't ever gonna change.
You ever walked on stilts?
No,
Got a
I
gypsy
don't think that's a good gig for me.
you were born for
I'm too clumsy, probably.
Listen, I do well. Well, I do not.
Today is Creme
Well.
Brulee Day.
High heels, so I can't imagine.
You ever made creme brulee?
No.
Have you eaten creme brulee?
I don't know that I have.
Oh,
It's good.
yeah.
It's Chicken Finger Day today. Like a good chicken finger.
Can't beat it.
I I mean, I prefer the tender to the finger, but I don't.
Is there a difference between the tender and the finger? Is the tender thicker?
Sure, the finger comes off the end of the claw right there, where it's. But I don't know. And then today is bagpipe appreciation day.
Have you and Jason Thomas gotten together on it yet and started learning?
Not yet. We need to find a bagpipe player though, because we can just both contract. In our pre-planning when we sit down and do that, then we'll just arrange for the same bagpipe player.
And I mean,
it's got to be a young bagpipe player though.
Maybe do the Bells have a connection there?
I don't know. I think the Bells are snobs when it comes to the bagpipes, because if they've never taken my hint to let me chair the bagpipe section, something tells me they're discriminating against the bagpipes.
Devil went down to Georgia on the bagpipes.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a reasonable request.
It's also National Chili Dog Day. I guess I want on your list. I know that Cincinnati, all the Cincinnati chili parlors are losing their mind over it.
They are.
Yeah, that's all the emails I've been getting all day. Happy National Chili Dog Day.
I'll just go with the chicken fingers instead for today.
Just take both.
How about okay? Put a chicken finger on a bun and then cover it in chili. Is there any reason that wouldn't work?
You put Skyline on there, you could probably cover it in just about anything. I mean, what would be wrong with a chili covered chicken tender?
Chili is fine. Skyline is no.
You're just missing out on the good stuff.
We've tried it.
Clearly.
We tried it this summer just because of you, and it's awful.
It's terrible.
You're just missing out.
Horrible.
You didn't do it right.
You can still, if you've not made summer travel plans, you can still rent the viral Barbie Malibu Dream House.
Good.
It's an actual thing, and it's on Swimply.
Where?
Swimply.
Is that the street?
It must be some type of web platform. That's not a real house. So when it says you can rent it, that's not real. Is it? It says viral Barbie Malibu Dream House.
I don't know. Sometimes the Big Brother houses look like that.
Yeah. It says Barbie's house is life size, and it's still available to book on Swimply for your summertime pool parties.
Your screen's a little bigger than mine.
Okay.
Behind the pool chairs, is there somebody standing there? Is it a doll?
Oh, that's Barbie's horse.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, your screen's a whole lot bigger than mine.
Does Barbie's horse have a name? Do you know?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Probably. I mean, everything.
Does it work in a
comes
strip
named.
mine?
It does. We could ask Alea. She might know. Doesn't she have one that has the horse?
Yeah.
Didn't we get one of those after Christmas a couple of years ago? Seemed like we did. All right. There is a new type of parenting that it's at least been coined. We've talked about helicopter parenting. We've talked about lawnmower parenting. Basically hovering or just mowing down anything in front of them so nothing bad happens. But now there's something that is a kind of maybe even the opposite of that. It's called eggshell parenting. And the phrase eggshell parenting gained popularity when a clinical psychologist went viral on TikTok. She described the parenting style as making kids feel like they are walking on eggshells due to the unpredictability of a parent's mood and behavior with no warnings or cues. Mm-hmm. She describes eggshell parenting as a way of putting your child in a position where they have to always be hyper vigilant to what may or may not happen next. Even if you're loving and safe and wonderful, if it follows that you can be unsafe at the core, you are not safe. Psychology Today states that children are hyper aware of energy and feelings that work their way through their household. When kids latch onto negative emotions, they often feel insecure and cautious, nervous to make a wrong move, and then thus the coined term eggshell parenting.
Yeah.
By the way, dogs also know your energy and your body language.
Absolutely.
And so they all can absorb that. So just be aware. Saturday, we are having a discussion a majority of the week. What do you want to do for your birthday? I don't know.
Oppenheimer, right?
I don't know. No, we won't end up doing that. I mean, it was on the table, so it got ruled off. It's like, no, not doing that. But one of the things I said is I can make wings. And he said, but you'd have to cook those. Like, yeah, okay, I probably don't want to do that. But then I forgot, Saturday is also National Chicken Wing Day. So I'm thinking, well, is it just lined up because it's Chicken Wing Day, I think, is always on a Saturday, and just so happens that I've rotated around with that particular Saturday. So the two are co-located on the same date this year. So should I?
I mean,
It really comes down to, is it on the list?
I'm gonna have to.
Oh no, we have some in the freezer.
Yeah, I was gonna say, gotta get them out of the freezer. If
Well, I guess it's up to you, but again, you'll have to prepare it. So
yeah,
now, do you do it in the air fryer or do you do it in the your actual frying grease? Or?
actual frying.
yeah, he has a
Yeah,
big bad mammoth.
that's what I
jamma
use for
fryer,
turkeys too.
Oh,
like monster turkeys.
gosh, you put your individual wings in one of those?
Yes, he does.
In a basket.
Okay, so I guess maybe I'm not thinking of what you potentially might have.
Butterball XL turkey fryer has a basket.
Does it have a basket,
bigger,
like, connected
bigger
to?
than the fry baskets at the restaurants,
Okay.
that we use
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they
yeah.
drop down. But basically, just put them in that basket and just drop them down in the oil in 13 minutes and pull them out and you're
Shake them
finished.
halfway through, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean you can. Yeah, you got to make sure that they're not sticking to the
Basket
to
or
the mesh
together.
basket. That's exactly right. But I am learning of here are where you can get free or cheap wings on National Chicken Wing Day. If you're in 7-Eleven's Rewards Club or Speedway's Rewards Club, you can get 8 boneless wings for $3.
Because listen, there's no place I want to get wings more than the 7-Eleven.
Okay, what about BW3s? They've got 6 traditionals with a $10 purchase, or for free with a $10 purchase. All right, that'd be all right. I didn't know Fazoli's has wings.
Well, that helps me. Ooh,
Why?
because Fazoli's is Italian. And
I know, but you've eaten at Fazoli's more than I have. Did you know they have wings?
no,
I didn't
that's
know
what
it
I'm
either.
saying. It helps me. Now I'm more likely to say okay when the girls say.
Of course, there's the
Gosh,
restaurant.
Fazoli's,
There's
breadsticks, delicious.
There's the restaurant cheerleaders serving owl. You can buy 10 wings and get 10 free on Saturday. Marco's Pizza, Jabba the Hutt also has a special. Wingstop and Zaxby's all have specials on Wing Day on Saturday. Shouldn't National Chicken Wing Day be on a Wednesday every year?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. It just seemed like it.
I mean, the wing place you mentioned, the first one that you actually sit down and eat, they do Tuesdays and Thursdays usually is their wings day.
They do. Not 7-Eleven.
No.
The second one, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it not
The one
7?
that's got the number in the name.
Yeah.
say.
Thursdays for sure. Yeah. Or at least.
One day was boneless and one day was traditional.
I'm going to have a ponderance later on in the program that's going to kind of line up with this next story that I'm going to tell you about, a breakthrough in modern technology that now makes me wonder what took so long. Hot DiGiorno pizza could be coming to a vending machine near you. Now, we have all kinds of things. At the airport, you can buy an iPod out of a vending machine. You can buy headphones. You can buy cosmetics. You can buy, you can get, there are vending machines everywhere for everything. Why is it taken until the year of our Lord 2023 to roll out pizza vending machines? It doesn't seem that hard to figure out on how to do.
I guess just the technology of it.
Well, and the storage.
You store it in these shelves like that are refrigerated, and then when you keep X amount in the oven at all time based upon your traffic, just rolls it over there into the oven. It's by the slice.
Is it by the slice?
Okay,
Although
that
you might be
makes-
right. Look how wide that dispensary is across the
I
bottom.
think it's shooting you out a full pizza.
Think it's a whole pie.
Because yes, you stack them in there and it just rolls over or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But us,
And it does say up top, track your pizza here. So I'm
Well-
wondering if this is like the where you order it and you have to go stand on the side and wait, and it'll tell you, here comes Bill's Pizza.
I think it would have to be restocked pretty frequently.
So many possibilities. and the best part, it's on wheels on the bus. See, notice that. So just hook it to the hitch of my truck,
Oh my goodness!
right? Just take it wherever you
We're
take
gonna-
it. Take it to parties.
Put it over there.
Yeah, that's right. Put it over and line up where the pizza pie comes out, just like right below that monitor.
Mm-hmm.
So you just reach over there, and there it comes. Now, DiGiorno's not my favorite, but if DiGiorno can split the atom, so can everyone. would be my guess. Bring on the pizza vending machine. And this got my attention. At some of the newer coaster rides at Disney World, say for instance Tron, they will not let you wear your sunglasses or your spectacle glasses on Tron. They have lockers now, and so you put your stuff in the locker. Now, when I rode, I was carrying my phone, and I just held it up, and they said, "You'll be fine. Just put it in your pocket." And I thought, if there are lockers, should I use them? And I didn't, and I was fine. However, a Michigan man is considering taking legal action against Cedar Point after a painful experience at the Sandusky, Ohio theme park. David Carter says he was hit in the head by an iPhone while riding the Maverick roller coaster on Saturday, leaving him with a wound that bled for more than an hour. He was diagnosed with a concussion the next day. He said, "I had blood dripping down my face and I felt a bit dizzy." He says the phone flew out of the pocket of a boy in front of him whose mother also lost her phone. Carter says the park's response was disappointing. They offered him free meals for the rest of the day, but he only had time for one meal after he was treated at the first aid station. Who's at fault?
I mean, I think it's an accident.
Yeah,
I don't know that you can, if they told you not to put them in your pockets or.
Yeah.
But head wounds bleed a lot. That's just part of it.
It's just a flesh wound.
Yeah.
Suck it up.
But people have to suffer consequences in accidents. Yes, it was an accident, and he didn't lose a limb. He didn't lose a life.
No.
It ruined his day. I get that. It's not the end of the world. Would be. He's got a great story to tell. He got hit in the head with a cell phone on a roller coaster. Not everybody's got that story to tell, but it does make me. Is there any way that the people with the phones are responsible?
Unless they were told not to bring their phone on.
Right.
Yeah, well, they're told secure loose articles. They do. Disney putting a lot of those bags now in the front of things where you put them down in there so that they can't come loose. So I don't know where the. I wonder how much when you enter a theme park. I know there are things that theme parks are obviously liable for, without a doubt. You've seen that throughout history. But your general average run-of-the-mill, just because you're clumsy and you fall down, that's not necessarily the theme park's problem.
Yeah.
Right? So in this case, if you get hit in the head with a cell phone, is it just... would you rather been hit in the head with a cell phone or be pooped on by a bird?
Oh, my.
Because that also could have easily happened at the theme park.
Could also happen right there.
It could happen anytime. So which would you rather? I don't know. Got to get to a break. Your chance to win coming up here on In the Know.
Living in your ideal home, or is it still a dream? Future Designs Building Materials can help you turn your dreams into reality with atrium windows that will make the sun look brighter, roofing material that will keep your home protected year-round, and decking material for that perfect barbecue setting. Now is the perfect time to get your home improvement project off the ground. Got questions? Future Designs Building Materials can help with all your lumber and home improvement questions. Visit Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield or fdbm.net.
Buy one, get one for $1 at McDonald's. Or as we like to call it, the can't have just one deal. Mix and match a tasty McDouble sandwich, McChicken, savory 6-piece chicken McNuggets, small fries, or, for a limited time, any size frozen drink. Buy one, get one for $1. Now try flavors like frozen Coca-Cola, Fanta Blue Raspberry, or Fanta Wild Cherry. Prices and participation may vary. Valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
Hey, it's Ashley from 97.5 WAMC. Summertime is finally here. As traffic increases, the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety reminds all road users to pay attention and watch out for each other. Following the rules of the road and these simple steps can help save lives. Remember to buckle up every trip, every time. Put the phone down if you are driving, walking, or riding a bike or motorcycle. Safety is a shared responsibility. Enjoy your summer and be safe, Kentucky.
Do you own an annuity, either fixed rate, indexed, or variable? Are you paying high fees and getting low returns? If so, Annuity General would like you to have this free book to learn the pitfalls and mistakes of buying an annuity. The Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers contains the little-known truths about annuities, like how to help reduce your fees and increase retirement income. And it's free. That's right, free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report just for calling. We researched over 1,000 annuities and summarized rates and benefits from financially strong insurers. You get annuity do's and don'ts for baby boomers and the annuity rate report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today. Hurry, supplies are limited. Call now.
800-273-7075. 800-273-7075. 800-273-7075. That's 800-273-7075.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
A heat advisory in place for today as temperatures jump into the 90s for your highs yet again, but feeling like close to 105 this afternoon. A few showers and thunderstorms are possible through the afternoon into this evening. Tomorrow, sunny and hotter with a heat advisory for Friday as well. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
Well, somebody shines the light. I'm coming on home tonight now. I want to say bye-bye. Bye. Whoa. Blackbird.
Today's Did You Know? Saudi Arabia imports camels from Australia. So if you think about where camels come from, you think they come from the desert, from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
But they're imported from Australia, mate.
Interesting.
That's weird.
That is interesting. Odd. I'm not sure I quite buy it, but it was on the internet, so it must be true. All right, here's today's water cooler question. If you or your household have not won in the last 30 days, you qualify to win. You can text your answer to 270-259-6000, 270-259-6000. What prize should we give away today? I don't
Kingdom.
care.
Yeah,
All right, the
probably Kentucky Kingdom.
Kingdom sounds good to me. Here's the question. You're going to text your answer to 270-259-6000. All correct responses get entered into a drawing to determine the winner. You're an average parent if you do this 150 to 160 times a year. You're an average parent if you do this 150 to 160 times a year. Give it some thought. You're an average parent if you do this 150 to 160 times.
What do you think? Are you all above or below?
I'm below. And she's below, but she's closer to average than I am.
Did it help you at all?
She did this yesterday.
Oh. Okay, well then that takes off. That gets rid of one of my answers.
Mattel is the new Marvel Cinematic Universe. Movies about Barney, Polly Pockets, and more are in development. So on the heels of Barbie, now Barney is having a movie made about Barney, Polly Pocket, Thomas and Friends, and American Girl. 14 Mattel properties are in production.
We've already had a Thomas movie.
We have?
Well,
yeah, with Alec
and
Baldwin.
They just started a new run of Barney season.
They did.
Well, like,
is this?
I don't know.
Like, how are we gonna? I don't know.
When does it ever end?
But you got companies that are very, I mean, look what Disney is able to do in merchandising.
Well, I mean,
with IP, with their intellectual properties, between their movies, their merchandising, and their streaming. Of course, they're feeding their platform, etc. They've just created this little, brand or this universe. So a company like Mattel that's sitting on so many iconic toys goes, yeah, let's do that.
Let's make some money.
Disney doesn't own the recipe to that. They've just mastered it very well. Dolly Parton has unveiled her Queen cover "We Are the Champions" for the 2024 Paris Olympics.
Let's do it before the show.
Did anybody tell Dolly that it's 2023?
I think yesterday was the 1 year until the opening ceremonies.
I see. So
which is why
it's a big countdown. Okay.
Correct.
All right. But because when I read it, I thought, listen, even though she doesn't look her age.
She over 80?
Yes, she is. Even though I'm trying to speak quietly because I don't want her to hear that we're talking. Because Dolly's hearing is still really good. I know she doesn't look like she's frozen at, I'll just call her 60. All right. She just looks 60 years old. We'll just call it that. So it's misleading. You know what I mean? Like, Dolly's way older than you realize. So I would not begrudge her if she accidentally thought that it was 2024.
Have you listened to it yet?
No, I've not heard it.
It's not bad. It's just Freddie Mercury is such a tough person to cover.
So it basically sounds like Dolly Parton covering Queen.
Yeah.
Which I guess is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. Like, it's fine.
Kevin Spacey found not guilty of assault in the London trial, so that seemingly is finally over. Todd and Julie Chrisley's nightmare prison stay includes rattlesnakes and no air conditioning, according to Savannah. Chase visited his dad at the federal prison camp in Pensacola, and where he described the facility as a nightmare. Listen to this. Savannah added that Julie's stay at the Federal Medical Center in Lexington, Kentucky, is, quote, insane. So listen to these quotes. Chase said, now they both have no air conditioning. They're both in states where it gets 100 plus degrees and there's no air conditioning. That's what Chase said on Tuesday's episode of Savannah's Unlocked podcast. Savannah, who's 25, went on to claim that Julie, at age 50, even rattlesnakes just casually slithering on the floor in front of her right where her bed is. Listen, numbskull, there are no rattlesnakes in Kentucky. No. And rattlesnakes don't slither places. They coil up and wait for you to happen by. That's how they work, and they don't even exist in Kentucky. I didn't know she was in Lexington. Did you?
I had no idea. No, but I've not been keeping up.
If I'm being honest, I'm not sure that there's two people that I could care less about.
Oh, I love them. I love them. I've not been keeping up since they've been in
so far
jail.
down in the list of. I knew that they were in jail for tax evasion or something, right? That's all I could tell you.
Yeah, he's just so. I don't know.
Dramatic.
He is dramatic. I know there's something. It's a little bit like a car accident. When he's on television, I can't quite look away.
There are rattlesnakes in Kentucky.
There are? I just thought they were in the desert. Where are they?
Well, so...
I mean, I know there are copperheads. I know there are moccasins.
Whitney?
There are.
Call Whitney. She would know.
I'll tell you.
They're not indigenous to Kentucky.
Well, in addition to forests, these secretive animals prefer rocky outcrops, ridge lines, and bluffs, especially on south and southwest facing slopes.
The timber rattlesnake.
I've never
Well, there are
seen
two.
one.
There's a timber rattlesnake and a pygmy rattlesnake.
I know why then. I've never gone near the timber. That's the issue.
But ironically enough, I'm looking here at the map of timber rattlesnakes. It takes a scoop around Lexington in northern Kentucky where they're not found.
You just gave him the loophole.
So
and the pygmy rattlesnake is found in Graves County and around the lake.
So she Googled, rattlesnakes or whatever, but then she just messed up and she goes, oh, that's the one that's not in Lexington.
Yeah.
All right. So now what you're telling me, though, is that I now also have to worry about rattlesnakes?
Yeah, and the reason I looked it up because I thought, is because what the cousins told me the other day.
Look at that map. That's like circling out Lexington.
That's funny.
One of the cousins told me the other day that there was one on the farm.
Really? Okay.
And I thought, but yeah.
I had lulled myself into a sense of tranquility in the rattlesnake category.
Did you want to go hunting for them later?
It was fool's gold, apparently. And then we learned yesterday of all the other big headlines from yesterday. We have lost Sinead O'Connor. She had a tumultuous life, but she has passed at age 56. But I heard John Dickerson say on CBS this morning, he said, when you hear this song, it immediately transports you to a time in life.
Yes,
it doesn't matter what you were doing. It doesn't matter. It's transportive because you know how long this song was played and was influential. And none of us really give credit to Prince. It's a Prince song, and he sang it on an album, but we don't know it as a Prince song. It's a Sinead O'Connor song. So Sinead O'Connor, she changed her name, something Muslim recently, but she goes on in at age 56. Got to get you a break. We'll figure out our winner, point to ponder, chart toppers, pearl of wisdom, and more. Coming up here on In the Know.
I can remember a time in my childhood after my mom and dad divorced, when I lived with my dad for a short time. He hadn't been a part of my life for many years, but he tried to be a real father to me after my mom died and I was in foster care. Unfortunately, he didn't know how to connect with me, so he showed me affection the only way he could. He cooked, but I didn't see it quite that way. Hi, this is Jim Daly with Focus on the Family. I'll never forget one Saturday morning as my dad slid some bacon and eggs in front of me. I noticed a little slimy yellow spreading across the plate. "I can't eat this," I said. "The eggs are all runny." Judging by his angry reaction, you would have thought I had physically assaulted him. "You're so ungrateful," he growled and walked off. It took me years to understand that, without trying, I had rejected more than just a plateful of runny eggs. I had rejected his attempt to show me love. That situation taught me to consider other people's perspectives. You see, it's important to look for the motivation behind someone's gift or expression of appreciation. If my son offers to play a game or my wife invites me to sit with her on the couch and talk, it'd be easy to assume they're just looking for something to do to fill the time. But it could also be their way of saying, "I love you and I want to connect with you." And that's why it's important to look beyond the gift. For helpful tips to strengthen your relationships, visit Focus on the Family. I'm Jim Daly.
If you are 65 or older, you know this. Watching your hard-earned dollars fly out the window on healthcare costs is so frustrating. But here's some great news. If you were just notified that your Medicare costs are increasing, a program out there can really help you with your medical bills, and it's worth taking a minute to look into. Medishare 65 Plus. It's not insurance. Members actually say it's better. It's a Christian healthcare community that aligns with your faith and where people encourage and pray for you. And Medishare 65 Plus is a low-cost option for those with Medicare Parts A and B, and it fills in the gaps where Medicare stops. You choose any Medicare provider, and you get telehealth access anytime you need it. And this is great too. Unlike health insurance, you can lock in one low monthly price for up to 10 years. So don't get stuck with increasing costs. Call Medishare 65 Plus and find out how much you can save. Call 855-PSALM-11. That's 855-PSALM-11. 855-PSALM-11.
Your choice of lifestyle directly affects your health. And while there are many complex factors surrounding your lifestyle, sometimes the simple truth is that you just need to feel better. Well, rest assured, your feel better starts right here at Midway Pharmacy. We take our time to get to know you and your lifestyle so we can provide sound advice on ways to improve your overall health. So whether your goal is to maintain a healthy lifestyle or overcome that untimely sickness, remember, your feel better starts here at Midway Pharmacy.
I'm a traveler. Oh, I'm a traveler.
MD's point to ponder for today. We talked about the pizza vending machine earlier in the show. What product should a company make a smart version of? What product should a company make a smart version of that doesn't exist now? I laugh when I see the meme of the cordless water hose. Here they have the water guns. It's cordless. Like, how would that work exactly? Is there anything that has not been made smart yet? That an autonomous weed eater would be good. You know, just a weed eater that just kind of dances around. Yeah, just a robotic.
So like Arona.
Yeah,
but.
They do have lawnmowers like that, autonomous robot lawnmowers that just go out and they're all right. But weed eating would be a little bit harder.
Yeah.
I
can't think of one.
I had a hard time too, on what hasn't been made smart yet that needs to be made smart.
People?
Other than people.
Well,
so, by the way, I learned a conspiracy theory during the break. I'm not the only person who was under the false pretense that there were not rattlesnakes in Kentucky for a long time. But you want to hear the conspiracy theory?
I do.
Conspiracy theory that Fish and Wildlife introduced them to Kentucky to control the turkey population.
I've heard that.
I don't know if that's true or not, but and you know what I say? Shamey, shamey, shamey on you. I'll take the turkeys.
Where's Whitney? I was going to say, if anybody would know, it would be her. I have the faith.
The water cooler question. You're an average parent. If you do this 150 to 160 times a year, it's eat a meal while standing up. eat a meal while standing up. Happened yesterday. Now, it wasn't necessarily a full meal, but she was standing. Alea was at the island, and she said, "Are you finished eating pizza?" And Alea said, "Yes." And you grabbed a piece of pizza, and you stood there, and you ate it. And I would imagine that's probably what you had for dinner.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah, so that's kind of how it works.
And yeah, and you're not supposed to stand and eat. I do it a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
how
you're
many,
walking.
Yeah, how many times did I pace eating that salad?
Yeah,
The other day.
a few.
Some foods are easier to eat standing up, though.
Sure, especially ones on a stick.
Or like a hot dog. You know, like
On a
good-
stick.
I mean,
Covered in corn meal.
Or flour, right?
How many correct? Yeah. Did we have any other? What are some of the other guesses? Are there
we
any?
had a couple here that said, one person said go to the school,
Oh,
which
go
would make
to
sense
school.
if you're dropping the kids off. I can see that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, there were a couple of those. I put down make the kids breakfast.
Make the
So-
kids
Kinda find-
breakfast.
I put down feed pizza. So what I did yesterday, I was eating pizza.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I fed
That's
pizza.
a lot of pizza. You fed pizza to children and to self.
Yeah.
All right. So what am I picking between today?
It looks like about 5 got it right today.
5. I'll pick 4.
If your phone number ends in 1919.
In 1919, took a little trip.
It was a good year. Reds won the World Series that year.
Generation Gap on ABC tonight. The prank panel is on ABC tonight. On Discovery Channel, Jaws in the Shallows. Jaws in the Shallows. Today's highlight in history, this date in 1953, the Korean War armistice was signed at Panmunjom, ending 3 years of fighting. President Washington signed a measure establishing the Department of Foreign Affairs, the forerunner to the Department of State, this date in 1789. The pipe bomb exploded at the Atlanta Olympics this date in 1996. The world got introduced to Richard Jewell.
Have you seen that movie? The
I
one that
have.
is it good?
It's good.
I've heard it's not great.
It's not great, but for if you lived during that period, it really gets you inside the chaos that was around that because it was so confusing. They named him as a suspect early on, and then he wasn't. You know, like Richard, they pegged Richard Jewell early, and they just locked in.
And he was
they were-
really a hero.
And he was really and he was unwilling, but he was weird. And so they locked in on him, and they would not consider any other suspects, and it was a mess. And so that's what makes it an interesting movie if you lived during that time. Norman Lear is 101 today. Gosh, what so much great content that he brought to the world, and still active too. Maureen McGovern is 74. Carol Leifer is 67. Bill Engvall is 66. Maya Rudolph is 51. And Alex Rodriguez is 48 today. He stepped on a landmine this week, didn't he? Did you see that?
No, he's not somebody that usually.
Well, he was showing the proper batting technique and the angle which you should
Did he
swing at, and
grab some PEDs while he did it.
No, I think he can do that now. It's not against the
I
rules
guess.
now for him that he's retired.
He's better in the studio, but I know and it's been a while since I've seen him do color, but he is not good.
No, he just used an analogy for the angle that you hit that was a little insensitive. That he probably could have found a better way to describe it. He just should have said, like, if you had a T-ball, like if you just think of back to playing T-ball when the T sat on the ball, you were swinging down at it rather than,
I'll give it a Google.
Jerry Van Dyke. What did I get? Oh, there are the birthdays. Jerry Van Dyke was born this date in 1931. He's the only significant gone but not forgotten. That character, that duo of Luther and Dauber on Coach was one of the greatest comedic duos written in television.
them.
I mean, the
Yes.
ping pong between Luther and Dauber, and then Hayden Fox just playing the middleman between those two was just really good. I think it's overlooked sometimes of how good it was. Chart toppers. Let's go to 1953 and the Percy Faith Orchestra #1 with Song from Moulin Rouge.
Maybe since it's a little slower, you could convince the Bells that being your bagpipe song.
No. By the way, I've seen some photography of the show, of the marching show. It's looking good.
I like the theme. I'm not sure if that. I was told that. I'm not sure if that's open information or not.
No, it's we don't put it out there yet. I mean, obviously the family has seen the families have seen
Yeah,
the
I
show.
heard that was earlier this week.
Yeah, that. So let's go to 1962. Bobby Vinton, number one, with "Roses Are Red."
A long, long time ago.
Not all of them. I mean, I understand it's probably the most popular color of rose, but not all roses are red. There's all kinds of different colors.
White roses.
There's white. There's yellow. Especially in Texas. Gene Knight, Mr. Big Stuff, number one in 71.
Who do you think you are, Mr. Big Stuff?
The song went to number one to advance my arrival onto the earth.
Get my love.
Is that because when you came out, they said, "Who do you think you are?" Kind of.
Who do you think you are?
Had to warn everyone.
That's right. 1980. ONJ was number one.
The late.
Now, here's one we don't get to play very often. For a long time, his music wasn't available online. In 1989, Prince was number one with Bat Dance. 98, Goo Goo Dolls' Iris.
Oh, good one.
That is a good one. I agree.
Rihanna, Jay-Z, Umbrella in 07.
Another good one.
And Justin Timberlake, Can't Stop the Feeling, number one 7 years ago today.
Keep passing on 3 good ones there.
Running out of time.
Darn out of time.
Got to yield the floor to MHJ. All right, MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Never play with the feelings of others. You may win the game, but you'll surely lose the person forever. Never play with the feelings of others. You may win the game, but you'll surely lose the person forever. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin Lakes, it's on.